Okay, let's do it. New house, monthly roundup. Let's go. I'm sitting on a stool. These are my disorganized bookshelves. The books were the first thing to be packed at the last house, so they were packed for a while, but I got them unpacked real quick, which was really nice. I still have some boxes right here in the corner. All of the children's books, basically, because I don't have shelves anchored to the wall yet, so I'm not putting anything on them until that happens. The biggest drama that happened with our house being sold is that we offered the buyer to have my basement bookshelves because he was obsessed with them. And he was a very stressful buyer. So to appease him, we threw those in when we were negotiating. They got left there, which is okay. I have 16 boxes of books in our basement that don't have a home. They don't have any bookshelves anymore to be unpacked into. So I unpacked my black shelves that have books that I use all the time. If I ever need to dig through my 15, 16, 17 boxes of books in the basement, I tried to label them by genre so I can find stuff really quickly. But yeah, that's the book drama from our house buying and selling. I read 10 books last month in August, and that was during the packing stage. So now we've moved in an unpacking stage, and I have not read nearly as many books. My parents have been over like every single day helping us get stuff done and paint. And one day when we were painting, my mom was like, you can listen to a book if you need to while we paint. I got through a big chunk of a book that day. I have read 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've read 7 books this month. Basically all of them on audio, but I own every single one of them except one. So that's fun. These are all the ones that I own. Actually, 2 of them I just thrifted for my birthday, so I'll talk about that when we get to those. But I own 6 of the 7, and let's get into the books. I had 1 3-star book this month, and that is The Sicilian Inheritance by Jo Piazza. And this is a murder mystery kind of / women's fiction, women's literary fiction. It kind of made me think of The Amalfi Curse by Sarah Pinner. Is that her name? Oh, also Amelia Hart. Okay, that is what I was thinking of, but Sarah Pinner too. Amelia Hart, I just read The Sirens by her, and this book was written by Jo Piazza, and she has a very similar writing style as those other 2 authors. The main character, her aunt passes away and tells her in her will, I want you to go figure out our family's history in Sicily. Her grandfather was a Sicilian immigrant to America. And so her aunt never was able to get to Sicily, and they have a deed to some land there. And so she basically is like, go figure out what this is. If you want to sell it, great, whatever. Just go figure out what our family past is. And so this is a dual timeline. So the other main character is 100 years in the past. There is some generational family history and Sicilian culture. A lot of it, though, that I didn't really love was tailored to misogyny. And I know that that is not all that Sicilian culture is. Basically, this book, literally everyone's having affairs. I don't like the affair theme in books, and it was so heavy in this one. There was also an underlying theme, not even underlying, it was actually a main theme of figuring out what you want to do with your life. And it was geared toward specifically mothers, and this is where it really fell flat for me, because it was basically almost every character in this book didn't want children, or they accidentally got pregnant and they didn't want the child, but they had the child, and now the child's the best thing that happened to me, but I don't want to be a mom. That just does not align with my personal beliefs. I did not like that was such a main plot focus throughout the whole book. I did like the mystery part of it. I did listen to the audio, and it was very well produced. It was a dual narration. I did really like listening to the audio of it. At the end of the day, I just don't hold the same beliefs in this book on motherhood, pregnancy, and what value is placed on having children. So that's why I gave it a 3 stars, and my quick takes are 3 out of 5 stars. Genre is historical. I put historical mystery / literary fiction. Language is strong. Spice, there was an open door, which I was not expecting in chapter 17. There's an open door scene. Content is discussion of abortions, unwanted pregnancy, sexism, and infidelity. My 3.5 star book this month is Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. I don't know how to say his last name. This is a book that I actually found on booktube. I found a video that was top 10 fantasies that I recommend, or top 10 beginner friendly fantasies, basically, that this booktuber recommended. And I honestly don't even know who it was. It's my fault. I'm new to the making videos and posting them on BookTube, and I'm also new to the consuming content on BookTube. So I'm like new to both of them at the same time. I don't even know the name of the creator that put that video out, but I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna link it because it was really helpful. This was the 10th one. So this was his very first recommendation. I was so intrigued that I literally stopped the video, went and got this on Libby, and started reading this book. I have not listened to his other 9 recommendations yet. So I still need to do that. I would agree this is a very beginner-friendly fantasy. However, some of the themes made me give it a lower star, so we're gonna talk about that. This would have been a really great 4-star book without some of the themes that were just kind of icky. But very beginner-friendly in the sense that it's a true crime fantasy, which I really liked that juxtaposition. And one of the reasons why I was so intrigued by this is that the author was one of the writers for Doctor Who, and I am obsessed with Doctor Who. Doctor Who's more sci-fi, but it was the same, kind of the same elements as Doctor Who, as in the different, like in Doctor Who, it's like different aliens and species. This had so many different mythical creatures in it and basically opened up the playing field for anything to be in the coming books. And it is a series, and I want to say there's like 10 books. I don't know if I'm going to keep reading it. If I get the itch, maybe I'd pick up the second book, but I don't know. I really enjoyed the premise, and I really enjoyed the world building that he did. I was kind of lost sometimes about what was actually happening with the murder mystery part and what mythical being they were trying to catch. The premise of this is basically a cop in London is taken on as an apprentice underneath a wizard, and the wizard is actually on the police force, on the London police force. So it's all like still police, but magic, which I thought was just a really fun spin on the genres that I enjoy reading. I love reading true crime and mysteries, and I love reading fantasy. So mashing those up together has my interest written all over it. The main themes that I did not enjoy, there was an absurd amount of innuendo. There wasn't any spice, but it was like the narrator had like the dirty mind of a high school boy. It just was so icky. And there was so much of it. I mean, like every single scene that he's out in public and sees a female, it is like mind in the gutter. And so I did not enjoy that aspect of it at all. At first I was like, all right, well maybe this will kind of like go away throughout the plot, but it did not. And there is a super bizarre scene that happens that is kind of like, I don't even know how else to describe it besides just like British humor of just bizarre, weird innuendo that happens. It was just like so bizarre. So when that happened, I was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I got the Kindle and the audio of this from Libby. I started on audio, and the narrator was just it seemed like he wanted to be literally anywhere else than narrating the book. He just seemed like not interested at all. And there was lots of heavy sighing throughout. Sometimes it was like, I feel like he's late to something, or like he really wishes he was out with his friends, but he was like, mates, I gotta do this audiobook again tonight, so like I can't make it to the pub. And he was really upset about it. So not the best narrator, mainly just because his performance didn't seem like he cared about it. I went back and forth kind of the whole time doing physical and audio, physical, audio, physical, audio, and I really enjoyed reading it on my Kindle. If you're gonna do this one, if you're gonna give it a try, which anything I rate below a 4, it's more like a, it's not for me, but maybe for you. I'm not gonna be highly recommending it. But if you try to give this a shot, maybe just stick to the physical, because I did not like the audio of it. Okay, so here's what I put in my review. Unless you just really love Doctor Who and being in the mind of what felt like a high school boy, maybe skip this one. Bummer, because I really liked the writing style and world building and unlimited options for foes to come. I may try out book 2 just to see how it is, but I'd have to be in the right mood for it. Should have just read that and summed it up for you. So my quick takes on this are 3.5 out of 5 stars. Genre is true crime fantasy. Language is frequent, strong. Spice is none. Content is graphic murder and violence, and then that super icky sexual innuendo. I'm kicking off my 4-star with 2 Agatha Christie books I'm super excited about. One of these slipped through the cracks while we were moving, so I'm playing catch up, and we're gonna be talking about books 3 and 4 of the Hercule Poirot series. So the first one, which this is the one that slipped through the cracks, is Poirot Investigates. This is book 3. This is actually a collection of short stories. And at first, I didn't really want to read it because I don't like short stories. And I was pleasantly surprised because there is a lot of character building that happens with this. And there's a lot of almost like character building for the characters, but also for the reader, like getting to know Agatha Christie's writing style. The short stories were so short that it didn't even give the reader a chance to form any opinion about who they thought was the murderer, the thief, or, you know, whoever it is. I liked that. It seemed more fast-paced than her other books, which was a good like tempo change. There's one where they go to Egypt and he is hilarious in that one. Hercule Poirot is. He hates being on the boat to go over there. He hates the sand. And it's just really fun. Quick takes are 4 out of 5 stars. Genre is murder mystery. Language is mild and God's name in vain. Spice is none, and content is death and murder. And next up is one of the most popular Agatha Christie's that I see a lot of people say it's in like their top favorite Agatha Christie's, and that is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. And this is book 4 in the Hercule Poirot series. And again, I listened to both of these on audio. So I think this is the very last one where Audible basically has all the narrations, like the first 4 Hercule Poirot books that are narrated by Richard Armitage, included in your membership. So you can get these without having to use a credit, which is amazing. So this book actually, after you get all that character development in Poirot Investigates, then Agatha Christie switches up the narrator on you, so you don't have Arthur Hastings narrating this anymore. It's a village doctor. This is set in like a really small town. Poirot's there to just like hang out. Hastings is away in Argentina, we find out later. So Poirot doesn't have his like sidekick with him. So the doctor steps in because he was one of the last people to see the murdered victim, Roger Ackroyd. And I really like the title of this because like you know who's gonna die before you read the book. And so when you're starting it and you meet Roger, you're like, you're gonna die. But I don't know how or why or who did it. I really enjoyed this narrator. I think more than Hastings. I said what I said. I really did enjoy it. I think he was more reliable. Hastings is so unreliable. So that made me think I maybe had it figured out because the narrator felt way more reliable than Hastings, but then the twist still got me. Like Agatha Christie, every single time she gets me. This is high up on my favorite books by her. I really enjoyed this one. Again, did the audio, was very successful. Richard Armitage does a great job. Highly recommend all of the books that he has narrated by Agatha Christie, which as far as I know are the first 4 of her Hercule Poirot series. My quick takes on this are 4 out of 5 stars. Genre is murder mystery. Language is mild and God's name in vain. Spice is none, and content is death and suicide. How cute are these paperbacks? I went to Half Price Books with Mr. Reeves for my birthday. We always end up at Half Price Book or a bookstore on our date nights. And shopping at Half Price Books is really fun because everything is much more affordable, and I feel like I can actually like get a few books and our budget won't be super mad. These were only a couple dollars each, and I have never found such a fully stocked Agatha Christie section in like a secondhand or thrift shop. I got 4 or 5 books by her, and I picked up these because I think it would be super fun if I tried to purchase these books as I'm reading through. I'm trying to do like 1 book of hers a month, and right now it's the Hercule Poirot series. So yeah, that was super fun, and it is the Half Price Books that's close to our new house. I'm hoping that they continue to have a well-stocked Agatha Christie section, and I can keep getting some books of hers as I read through the series. Last in my 4-star category is Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. This is the first book I've read by Adrienne Young. I have a lot of her books. I thought this was going to be YA. Don't know why. I have her book Fable and Namesake, I think is the second one, but it's a YA duology, pirate duology. That's why I just assumed that like this would be YA too, and it is not. This is an adult magical realism, and I was trying to decide between like 3.5 to 4 stars, mainly because I didn't realize there was gonna be spice in it. It's non-descriptive open door, and there is more spice than I thought there would be. But her writing is beautiful and lyrical. It is magical realism in the vein of witches, but it's set on an island off the Pacific Northwest, and it's almost like the island is the magic and the females in the town that can do the magic, they don't ever call themselves witches. So it all felt very like palatable female magic and less coven witchcraft. A big part of this book is a mystery, a murder mystery is a big element in this as well. So that was fun, just like murder mystery, magical realism, fall. Like this basically had everything. Again, the writing was so atmospheric. The island really came alive. There are multiple points of view throughout. It's mainly 2 points of view, the guy and the girl. So this is like magical realism / romance actually, because there is a romantic plot that is very heavy throughout. And I really did enjoy it. I think 4 stars is right because I was going back and forth for a while, but I think 4 stars is good. Her writing is so good, and I'm excited to read more by her. I have an arc of hers that I need to read, Duology. And I also have the Unmaking of June Farrow by her, which I've heard really great things about too. Lots of Adrian Young in my future. My quick takes on this are 4 out of 5 stars. Genre is magical realism, adult magical realism, not a YA. Language is strong and God's name in vain. Spice is non-descriptive open door, chapters 30 and 49. Content is death, murder, and off-page past domestic abuse. If you've been eyeing this one, this time of year would be the perfect time to read it walking into the fall season. And my 4.5 star book this month is The Lion Woman of Tehran by Marjan Kamali. This book has been on my TBR for a long time, and I've actually owned this physical book for a long time. I want to say maybe over a year. But I finally just felt the hankering to read it. You know, the mood reader was like, all right, it's time. I actually got the audio on Libby. Are we surprised? No. I really enjoyed it. It's dual narrated, 2 different audio narrators. This book follows 2 girls who become friends in Tehran, and it is a coming of age story. Follows them from when they were 10 all the way up to like their 80s, 90s. It was a very interesting picture and historical fiction of life in Tehran, Iran throughout their life. So there's lots of different time periods they walk through, and it was really interesting. It talks a lot about the politics of the time and what women could and couldn't do during different regimes. It was really well done, and I teared up a few times. It just, like, highly recommend this one. Highly recommend this one, especially if you're looking for lesser known historical fiction. And by lesser known, I mean like maybe you, like me, didn't know much about Iran or like what it's like to live there. I haven't studied much about Iran. I know about like when the riots were happening in the 70s, I believe, and it does talk about that in this book. There's a movie about that, Argo. So if you're a fan of Argo, that time period is in here, and I love that movie. So I found this book like super interesting. From the get-go, I was like, oh yeah, like if you like that movie, you should definitely read this book, even though that specific time period is a really small kind of blip in the timeline, but it just all was so interesting. And I really love a successfully done coming of age story. The final 20 to 30% of this book completely stole the show. I love having so much character depth and background to pull on. Once you get to that final part of the book, it was just so well done. This is the first book I've read by this author. She does have, I believe, 2 more books, so I definitely plan to read more of hers, but I loved this book. My quick takes on this are 4.5 out of 5 stars. Genre is historical fiction. Language is none. I did not notice any. Now, if there was, it would have been very, very minimal and mild. Spice is none. Content is themes of war, toxic family relationships, death, discussion of off-page torture and rape, and infertility and miscarriage. And my final book that I read this month is a 5-star, and it is a John Gwynne. I was really missing John Gwynne's writing style. I am obsessed. I hope he comes out with more books, because right now he has 3 completed series, and I'm like, we need more John. Where's the next book? Are you working on another book? Like, do you have more coming? Is this it? Is this all? Have you fully tapped all of your ideas that you've got in your head? Because I need more books by you. Thank you very much. But I do love that all of his series are completed. So this actually, I read his series, The Faithful and the Fallen. It starts with the book Malice, so definitely start with that book. This book is the first book in the trilogy that comes after that. I really love being back in the Banished Lands with all the characters. There are some characters still that are familiar because they're not human and they have longer lifespans. So that was fun. And there is so much lore and backstory and like what happened between where the 4th book of The Faithful and the Fallen ends and where this picks up. There's like a 130-year gap. And so, hello, I loved. Can you even? I tabbed a lot of the mentions of past characters. I teared up really early on in this book, and I actually listened to this on audio again. So I got this trilogy. It was on super sale on Amazon, so I ordered the trilogy, but then I've used my audio credits to listen to it because I listened to Malice on Audible, and so I loved the narrator, Damian Lynch. He is like truly a fantastic narrator. He has so many voices, and he obviously actually cares about what he's reading, unlike another narrator, which shall not be named, that I talked about earlier. But yes, highly recommend reading some John Gwynne. It's just really great epic fantasy. My quick takes on this are 5 out of 5 stars. Genre is epic fantasy. Language is infrequent, mild. Spice is none. And content is graphic violence, death, and themes of war. Those are all the books I read this month. I will say in my August roundup, I said that I was reading through another epic fantasy series, and that is the Echoes Saga by Philip C. Quaintrell, and the first book is The Rise of the Ranger. And I was not able to get the second book, Empire of Dirt, finished this month, but I am currently, I want to say I'm sitting at like 60% maybe. I'm a little over halfway on that book. I am enjoying it more. Pace is a lot quicker. There's a lot more happening, and he's obviously developed more as a writer in the second book than the first book, which was his debut. So TBD, I just want to give a little update on that because I said in my August video that I would hopefully have an update for you about the second book in that series, and I will have my full review on that in my next video, my next monthly roundup video. But until then, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. You can click on my face right here and you can go check out this video right here where I talk about more books. Until next time, I hope all of your reads are 5 stars.